What's up, everybody? I just wanted to hop on real quick. I got my boy Ben here. Wanted to bring more value to you throughout the Better Body University. He's an amazing human being. He's an amazing coach. I've been able to connect with him a few times, and I just wanted to bring you more value. I wanted to introduce you to some more people in the coaching realm, more opportunities for you to grow and learn and become better human beings yourselves. I'm not going to talk too long because in the middle, throughout Better Body University, you've been hearing me talk this whole time, and really this is Ben's time. So I'm going to make Ben the host right now, and Ben is going to share you some valuable information. He's going to teach you some value, bring some value to your lives, and we are going to move forward from there. So Ben, you are now the host, and let's hear what you got for us, brother.
Awesome. Thanks for the introduction, Paul. I'm really excited to share some value with you guys. The topic we're talking about today is really near and dear to my heart, probably my favorite topic to teach about. And so I just can't wait to provide this for you and see what you think. So let me get my screen shared here for you. So this topic is really, it's a foundation for my whole program, and it's forgiving yourself and returning to self-love. So self-love, obviously, it doesn't really need to be stated how important it is, but so many people have lost their way in terms of loving themselves. And, it could show up in negative self-talk. It could show up in, just not treating themselves right, whether that's not treating their body right, not making healthy decisions. So there's many different things that go on with this. And this lesson is really going to help you break down what areas you might be kind of lacking in terms of loving yourself, and how we can expand your self-love to incorporate every aspect of who you are. Okay. So let's dive in. First, I want to give a little bit of a roadmap for the lesson today. So first and foremost, we're going to talk a little bit more about the importance of self-love. Then we're going to talk about how, from a societal standpoint, we're socially primed for self-criticism. And so it's really not your fault if you're not loving yourself, as it were. And then we're going to talk about how self-judgment is a misuse of energy, how to break the cycle of self-judgment, and finally, how you can return to self-love and love yourself fully. So as it sounds, this is a lot, but we're going to break it down, okay? So first up, the importance of self-love. It's so crucial for you to be firing on all cylinders in order to reach the potential that you have. And when you're not loving yourself fully, it's like firing on half or even one cylinder. So when you're taking actions without that self-love, you're acting out of fear most of the time. And that leads to a lot of self-sabotage and kind of, shooting yourself in the foot. So the key is to become your best friend instead of being your own worst enemy. And that's what this is really all about. It's shifting that negative voice inside your head to a more positive and uplifting voice. So instead of bringing yourself down, you're lifting yourself up. So why is it crucial for us to make this a conscious effort? That's because we're socially primed for self-criticism. There's so many unrealistic expectations that we're bombarded with, whether it's from social media, looking and seeing, the perfect primed view of other people, or from even advertisements, looking at magazines and seeing the Photoshop pictures of people. So all of this leads us to comparing ourselves with other people, and a really harsh self-judgment results from it. And it's not even a comparison with other people's reality. It's a comparison with a Photoshopped reality. And so it gets really out of hand really quickly. And, I had some pretty serious self-judgment issues myself. So working through that is how I came upon this lesson to be able to teach this to you. All right. So moving on here, why is self-judgment a misuse of energy? Essentially, whenever you're judging yourself, you're taking energy that you could be putting into action to better yourself, to move forward, to grow. And instead of doing that, you're basically just nitpicking yourself, taking all these little things, blowing up into big issues. And all the while, you're procrastinating on what you really need to be doing. Okay. So while you're self-judging yourself, you're not taking the actions that you need to take. And it's effectively a distraction. So if left unchecked, this can get really out of hand with things such as eating disorders, body dysmorphia, anxiety issues, and depression. And that's not what we want, of course. So if you experience any of those things, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's a great place to work from, but just know that it's going to take some conscious effort and a lot of time and practice to work through those things and get to a more manageable position. All right. Now, how can we break the cycle? So if you're judging yourself, the first thing to understand is that you are at the core, you're at conflict with who you are. And as long as you're at conflict with who you are, you're not going to be operating optimally, as we discussed. So you need to make peace by accepting who you are. All right. Acceptance is pretty much the opposite of conflict in this sense, right? And who you are is just the reality of the situation, right? No matter what situation you're in, no matter what has happened up until this point, you may not be happy with the decisions you've made. None of that matters. What matters is that you accept where you are right now and just really open up to where you are, because if you don't, you can't grow from there. Okay. So it doesn't matter where you are, get that out of your head. Just fully accept where you are right now and recognize that that's the best place you can be to work from and grow right in this moment. Okay. So this allows you to flow with reality instead of going against it. And I find that the most effective way to really do this acceptance work is through forgiveness. Okay. And what that comes down to is really forgiving yourself for everything that you've done and everything that you are. All right. Really, to forgive is to love yourself. So when it comes to forgiving yourself, it's not enough just to say that you forgive yourself. It takes consistently coming back to it over and over again. Okay. So you need to forgive yourself for everything you've done, forgive all the self-doubt, forgive the fear, forgive all the judgment. And regardless of what you've defined as good or bad, just forgive it all, because it is who you are and it's led you up to this moment. So it doesn't really matter what labels you put on it. It's just part of the reality, and it's everything that you need to carry with you moving forward, right? As long as you don't forgive and don't accept, then you're really holding on to these things. Once you learn to accept and forgive, then you can let them go and they're no longer dragging you down. So I mentioned it's not as easy as just saying it, right? But saying it does kind of help. But what I mean by that is you need to really embody those words. You can't just say them empty-minded and expect it to work, right? And so to go deeper and really embody this forgiveness, I find it helps to be grateful for the things that you might have, found unacceptable about yourself. Okay. So by doing that, by bringing these seemingly negative aspects of yourself into a more positive light by being grateful for them, you're then able to move forward. And those things just become part of your story, right? We've all gone through adversity. We've all faced really difficult things. And so what it comes down to is incorporating those things into our worldview, bringing them into our story, and using them as fuel for growth. And by being grateful for them, that's really the first step. So just know that no matter how bad something was, no matter how bad something you did was, if you didn't have that one thing happen, you wouldn't be where you are today. And who knows where you would be? Who knows if you'd be in a better or a worse situation? You can't say. So it's really not worth it to spend time thinking about, well, what if this or what if that? Just work with where you're at right now and move from there. So finding gratitude for adversity, Paul and I had a live on this before, really one of my favorite conversations to have, and really a major focus for everything that I do. So when it comes to finding gratitude, you need to understand that the idea of something being good or bad is something that we have built. Okay. If humans weren't around, there wouldn't be good and bad things. Things just happen and life adapts to them, right? If a thunder strikes down a tree and it falls and lands on, an animal, it's not a bad thing to happen. It's just life that happened, right? Now, when we're humans around here, if a tree gets struck by lightning and falls on our house, oh, this is terrible. It's such a bad thing. And maybe that's not the best example, but what I'm trying to get at it here is that it's our definition that determines what's good or bad. Okay. And so you can change that definition. And by expanding and getting outside of that definition, you recognize that good things lead to bad things lead to good things. And this is just the way things are. So this should help you become a little bit more grateful for whatever bad things might have happened to you or bad things that you might have done. Okay. So all this is about really taking the negative aspects of yourself or the negative aspects of your life and using them as a fuel for growth. All right. So if you are feeling any sort of resistance to this idea, right? If some like negative thoughts are coming up for you around this, pay attention to any of that resistance and just make a mental note of it, right? Those might be some areas to look into a little bit further, right? They might be calling out some things that you haven't paid as much attention to, or some things that you really are in conflict with, okay? So I want you to really embody these words. Don't just read them. So really feel them and resonate with them. And, when I had these words come up for myself, it was in a very sort of emotional time. I actually had some tears come to my eyes when I was first writing these words. And so I hope that you get some of that experience as well from this. So I forgive myself for everything that I've done and everything that I am. I love myself for everything that I've done and everything that I am. This is how you can cut energetic ties with the past, all right, with who you thought you were and what you thought you did, okay? None of that really matters in terms of what you're doing now and where you're headed in the future, except for the fact that it sets you up to be where you are now and to grow from where you are, okay? So, read that as many times as you need and really journal about it. Just, it's going to be helpful to really dig into that phrase, okay? Now, returning to self-love. So love is really the natural state of being. It's all around us, but we can't see it if we're looking through life with the lens of fear. Okay. The problem becomes that when we look at things from a fearful state of mind, we're acting almost like the victim. And so we can see where there's potential dangers or potential negative things. We're looking at anxiety-inducing situations. We're thinking of all the worst possible scenarios that can come up. But if you step outside of that and you look at it from the lens of love, you recognize that even the worst things that happen have opportunities to learn and grow. And what could be there besides love if you have that opportunity to learn and grow from it? Okay. So this subtle shift is super important, from blaming yourself to loving yourself, right? So from blaming yourself for not making healthy decisions or, doing whatever it was, to loving yourself for not making healthy decisions, for not doing whatever it was, or doing whatever it was, okay? This type of love, it's unconditional. So what we're aiming for here is to love yourself no matter what mental labels, no matter what situations rise. And it's really just a total alignment of accepting yourself fully and loving yourself fully that we're after here. Okay. So to help with that, I came up with a visualization here. And, I'm not going to make you do it right now, but you can save this slide and, take some time to do it later. Essentially, I want you to close your eyes and take 10 deep breaths. So, aim for like 4-second inhale and about 8-second out exhale. So elongate your exhales, nice deep breathing, and bring to mind the feeling of being loved by someone who just loves you unconditionally. This could be a parent, could be a lover, could be a friend, could be a grandparent, but bring to mind someone that really loves you unconditionally and just really focus on the feeling of being loved in that way. And then I want you to allow that love to spread around and throughout your body, permeating every cell of your body. And I like to literally visualize every single cell of my body literally bursting with this energy of love. And it shouldn't be, I know it sounds maybe a little woo-woo, but if you think about it, your heart is connected to every cell in your body through the blood vessels. All right. So if you want to visualize it in a more physiological way, you can visualize this energy of love going through your blood vessels and hitting every cell in your body and bringing this energy of love to it. Okay. So if you do this fully and really embody this visualization, you can wash away emotional baggage from years and years of self-judgment and criticism in an instant, right? There's no time requisite for this, okay? But really practice this visualization, do as much as you need, and it's really gonna help you with this full unconditional self-love and acceptance. Finally, I have a worksheet that I've given Paul for you guys to download. You can either do it in a journal or you can just do it in the worksheet itself. It's a lot of journal exercises to really unpack what areas you may have forsaken of yourself, bring more awareness to those parts so you can reintegrate them and fully accept and love yourself. So I also want you to really set an intention to recognize any self-judgment when and where it comes up and let go of it when it does, so that you can start to unpack over time these different areas that you're critical of yourself, these different areas that you're in conflict with yourself, and really learn and grow from there. So that's the lesson I have for you. I really hope that you found this helpful and that it opened up your eyes to maybe some areas that you can love yourself more. And if not, this worksheet's gonna help you unpack just that. So best wishes. I know Paul's got you taken care of in this program, and wishing you nothing but growth from here on out.
Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate you, brother. For those of you watching this video, I hope you got a lot of value out of that. I hope that brought some insight into your life. You'll be able to find the worksheet that he's talking about. It'll be uploaded here, so you'll be able to download it just like you've been downloading your other worksheets, just like you've been downloading your workouts. Same idea. This is just more value on top of what I'm already bringing you. Like I said, my goal is to just keep bringing more value and bring other amazing coaches into your life. And thank you so much, Ben, for your time. And I hope you have a great day, man.
My pleasure, Paul. Have a great day.